Yeah, definitely. I can start with with the team. We are researchers from Luke, from GTK and from VTT now to start with. Syke will come in later when we reach the stage of life cycle assessments and so on and so forth. But this first part we have now done with Luke, GTK and VTT. And this work actually started to take form about a year and a half ago when I saw a sample in a very unrelated event and contacted VTT, and then this competition gave us an idea to contact GTK, and ta-da, here we are. So the example picture there is from a tomato greenhouse in Närpiö, Finland, and you see the tomatoes are growing out of those cubes, slabs, and those are rock wool. And that's one problem that needs to be solved. So the need is this, that the production of fresh vegetables, berries and flowers is growing globally, and it's growing in greenhouses and plant factories, and that needs growing media to happen. If you take a look at the example figures there, first there's that tomato greenhouse in Närpiö, then there's some pot flowers in Raleigh, North Carolina, and then there's a vertical farm here in Finland. And what's in common? It can be peat or rock wool or coconut coir, but it's growing media that they are all using. And depending on the source, there are numbers like 55 million cubic meters per year of growing media is used, and this is expected to quadruple by 2050. And turnover, according to one estimate, is 1.3 billion euros. I've seen 2 billion euros estimates as well. And our approach is to tackle the problems associated with the current solutions using wood material, byproducts from mining, and specific processing techniques. Thus, we'll have a great potential to create growing media that is sustainably sourced, economically viable, and compostable. And the benefits from our approach is that sourcing materials to replace these materials that are currently in use can have just as many environmental and commercial challenges. For example, including continuous supply at realistic prices. Peat is available in tons, so the alternatives need to be available in tons. And the impact that sourcing of those materials, the local effects can be very big, like for peat and coconut coir are good examples of this. So our approach has the answers, because wood material can be sourced locally and sustainably. Pulp production, for example, creates more electricity than it consumes, and things like recycled paper and cardboard are just awaiting ways to use them. Then byproducts from mining are also available in tons. Our winning elements are that before this, the development approach has been trying to copy peat with perhaps single materials like wood chips, or trying to find ways to reuse rock wool or source coconut coir somehow sustainably. And none of the current solutions match all the three key requirements that need to be met. They need to be responsibly sourced, they need to be compostable or recyclable, and they need to be economically viable. And our solution has this innovative solution compatible with these requirements, and we are expecting to see a new line of internationally exportable products. Punchline. Plant production in greenhouses and plant factories is increasing globally. New alternatives for growing media are desperately needed. At least here in Finland, in the news, You've seen during this summer and autumn that peat is to be banned altogether, or at least phased out very strongly. Rock wool and coconut coir as alternatives are not responsibly sourced and not even applicable for all plants. Our team has the expertise to create solutions with potential groundbreaking innovations with great business opportunities. And what we have now done during these 6 weeks or so, we have tested some new material mixtures at the Luke-Piikkiö greenhouses, growing cucumber seedlings. That picture there is taken at one point during our round 1. The proof of concept is now completed, and yesterday I was at our research greenhouses in Piikkiö, and I brought this fella with me today. So it's a cucumber seedling growing happily in one of our new material mixture. And what we aim to have from here is a research and development project to develop and optimize the material selection and mixing, do tests with multiple plant species, and all this accompanied by go-to-market activities. Thank you.
We're applauding here. I'm sure they're applauding online as well, but we just can't hear them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
One of the questions that came in, and thank you for the presentation, one of the questions that came in asks, is there some measures or calculations about sustainability of these new materials versus traditional?
Well, that's the next step with Syke. Yeah.
Very good. And also, do you think with these new materials you might actually get higher yield from some of these plants?
Tough to say at this point.
Well, I mean, looking at it so far, you can't really tell. But
yeah, at this point you can't really tell.
But yeah, it's really interesting concept, and of course, with the sort of global demand, global population increase, even if estimates are now saying it's not going to increase as much as was predicted earlier, there's still going to be a growing demand for food. With climate change, there's going to be more need for these types of materials.
Yeah, exactly, because the production in controlled environments is increasing, and usually
huge investments going on around the world.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think it's really well timed, this this topic. Okay.
Yeah.
Inga, did you have a question?
Yes, I think we have time for one more. So there was a question about what are the technical challenges at this point of development that you need to solve next?
I don't know about technical challenges. You know, it's finding the appropriate mixtures. Different plant species may have a bit different needs, so to say, and so it's more that we need more that experiments testing material mixtures. But I don't know about the techniques. Of course, we can still have more than one solution also for the technical development, but now we are focusing on the materials and the material selection.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.